I spent a good part of my Saturday on the phone with a pastor of one of the fastest growing churches in the country that was built on a user-friendly model that compromises the scriptures. He had an epiphany where God basically wouldn't let him sleep for many, many days and said, you will get in the pulpit and you will discuss politics, or I'm not letting you ever go to sleep again. And so after 3 days, he said, I'll do it. And so because God stepped into his life, he was against the preacher should stay out of politics, don't talk about any of it. God dealt with him supernaturally and said, you must do it. I am commanding it. You either do it or you don't sleep again. And when he repented, he said, I'm sorry. You're going to have to help me understand this in the Bible because I thought I wasn't supposed to do this. I will obey you. And he humbled himself and repented, and he went right to sleep within 10 minutes. And he faithfully got up in his pulpit and began to obey God. And so they pulled him in. They said, you stop talking about politics, take your Facebook account down. You're driving people away from Jesus by standing up for against abortion and marriage. You've embarrassed us. You're hurting the church. Stop it. You either stop it right now or you're not going to be our pastor anymore. Well, the church fired him. They kicked him out. So, let me just tell you something. They grow fast and they disappear just as fast. I'm just going to tell you, don't be unfaithful. Don't be one of those ship jumpers. Always thinks the grass is greener because you're just going to embarrass yourself. Don't do it. It doesn't last. None of this stuff is going to last. He said, I pastored here for 20 years. I built this whole thing. And he said, they just looked at me and they said, we don't love you. Go away. But he said, they're wrong. They shouldn't have done this. And he said, in about 8 weeks, they're going to lock their doors. The church is gone. It's all the people left.
You're listening to Beyond the Walls with Pastor Cary Gordon of Cornerstone World Outreach in Sioux City, Iowa. Don't miss the conclusion of this sermon after these messages.
Our country is no longer in need of a great awakening. America is in need desperately of a resurrection. Now, there's a difference between a resurrection and a great awakening. In far too many American churches, the Great Commission has been reduced. The emphasis is on really getting people ready to die. But the church is not here to get people prepared to die so much as we're here to equip people in how to truly live. I've written a new book that talks about this. It's called A Storm, a Message, a Bottle. You can get a copy of the book at beyondthewallsradio.com. God bless you.
Welcome back to Beyond the Walls with Pastor Cary Gordon of Cornerstone World Outreach in Sioux City, Iowa. Check out our website at beyondthewallsradio.com. Thank you for tuning in.
You got to deal with the reality. Americans don't want real pastors. You don't want us. You don't want us. You want to criticize us. You want to talk bad about us when we're not in the room. We know what the church is like in this country. I'm saying this to the Church of America. Please don't take it personally unless you need to. Unless you're a sinner and a rebel. Then you should, because you're going to find out one way or another that you're wrong. But please know, you're not in a good place with God. God's going to back me up. And God's going to back up my brother that just was punted out of the church, and then he watched it fall. Within 3 months of his forced fire, that church is gone. They would have fired my dad 25 years ago. They could have had their way. You wouldn't even be sitting in this building. You wouldn't even be hearing the teaching you get if it had been up to sheep. Sheep are not there to tell shepherds what to do. That's wrong.
Don't miss the conclusion of this sermon. Check out our website at beyondthewallsradio.com.